Good. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this new edition of Tech News. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Joki, someone who I've seen a lot in videos. You would see him in conferences everywhere. And sometimes, once the first person I open my LinkedIn first post, most of the time is Mr. Joki. So, who's Mr. Joki? He's one of the tech, I would say, activists in Mauritius, one of the mind behind DevCon, behind MSCC Meetup, one of the person who today I feel has been contributing more than lots of people, I would say, towards what we call to be programming IT technology in Mauritius. So, hi, Mr. Joki. So, over to you. If you want to give a quick, who is Mr. Joki? More details.
Yeah, thanks so much for the invitation and having me on the Tech News podcast. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, briefly to say, I'm Joki, easily known, easily to pronounce. I'm a senior software developer crafter, I would say, because I consider software development as a crafting exercise, involving practice, tools, and creativity. Apart from that, I'm a regular blogger, community founder, and regular speaker at Unity or community events, but also on conferences, local as well as on international level. During the past few years, I had been awarded Microsoft MVP, so Most Valuable Professional. Unfortunately, because of pandemic and some health issues, it hasn't been renewed. Meanwhile, I added also Google Developer Expert to this for Google Cloud. And these awards are literally a recognition for the community contributions that I'm doing. I love sharing. I have the passion to teach. And I'm also be all around if there are activities to do that allow me to engage with other developers, with other IT people, like-minded people around the island, as well as online. And so, yeah, again, thank you for having me on the chat.
Okay, very nice. So let's move to the rapid fire questions. The first one, what's your favorite device?
Well, my favorite device, I would say anything that runs on Linux. It's kind of contradictory to how I earn my money. So I do professional software development on Windows mainly using .NET.
Yeah.
But favorite device, yeah, give me a laptop with a decent Linux system. I'd be happy with that.
Yes. Next, what's one software you can't live without?
A software I can't live without. I would say Visual Studio Code is very versatile. I started using it from the very beginning. Yeah, Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, we had Sandeep and he said the same exact thing. I will reply the same thing myself, actually. Do you prefer working in the office or at home?
It's a mixture. I have both options. I can work anywhere, just to say it at least. However, I would prefer at the moment or in general to be at the office because there is this clear physical separation between work activities and leisure activities. It also gives me the ability to have less distractions and to focus on the work. However, again, I have 100% free range in regards to my times. So I would say it's like 55 to 45 preference to work at the office compared to working at home.
Nice. What's your favorite tip to get things done?
Apply Pomodoro technique. Separate your tasks into small atomic units. Schedule a fixed like 20, 25, half an hour period where you just focus on a single atomic task, get it done, then have a break. Step away from the computer, go to the kitchen or kitchenette, have a drink, have a chit chat with the colleagues, do your emails. However, I think it's really about having focus periods. And most important, do something. Don't overthink, do it. This 1% that you do every day is more than doing nothing. So over time, you get things done. So even if it looks like impossible at the very beginning, over time, doing the 1% consistently, you get things done.
Very nice advice. This might be a bit related. What helps you get into flow state?
I have to say that I don't have a real technique about that. So I can put on some heavy metal, do some headbanging. That might get me in the flow. On the other side, if I put some classic music on it, it can happen. If I wake up in the morning, I might be already in a state of flow. I don't know. It's just here. It's, snip and I get into it.
Yeah, it's very good. For me, I like walking. When I walk a lot, I can work for long hours without any tired or fatigue. Next, how do you recharge or take a break?
Taking a break is a quite regular activity. So as I said earlier, with the getting things done, I schedule my activities into small units. It's also that during the day, I have effectively 3 shifts. I have my morning shift, my midday shift, and sometimes additionally my evening shift. In between, I have my breaks. And I try to avoid doing a long block because, I'm sorry to say this 9 to 5 concept is contradictory to creativity because you can't force it. So, and also it's about concentration and your energy levels. So getting up latest after an hour just to walk around, have a sip, have a quick bite, to refuel your brain. That is the way how I see it, to recharge it. One of the best ways. It works for me.
Yeah, I hope more managers hear you. What's your favorite side project?
Well, MSCC, the community is my favorite side project. Apart from that, I love, being in the community, exchanging with people. With the activities in the community comes also the effect of mentoring others. I think this is really my pet project, my favorite side project about, being involved in the community, sharing information, and helping others to grow.
Yes. Who else would you want us to bring in here?
Here on the Tech News podcast?
Yes.
Well, there's so many talented people on the island. One of them is clearly Sarah Moreau. That might be interesting. Then there's Angshita from the University of Mauritius. She's doing a great job with her Golang activities.
Nice.
The usual candidates. If you really want to, if you're out of inspiration, check out the speaker list from the previous conference years, and you directly have at least 50 to 60 people that you can bring in.
Well, we do have a long list, but for you, who you want to see? Someone, don't know.
I would suggest that see that you get a woman onto the chat. It's really important to have this kind of inclusion and diversity on the talk, because a lot of podcasts that I'm listening or that I'm following, they usually have a high frequency by male developers, and so perhaps it might be interesting to get women on board to see what is available on talent, but also to be a more inspirational, let's say, publisher or broadcaster for other girls that are at the moment still at secondary, not sure where they're going to go with their studies. And maybe, there are some getting inspired to actually then follow up with a career in tech, going for computer science, computer engineering, data engineering, or graphic designs or whatever at the universities.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I
Nice.
just don't want to be a spoiler here. We do have certain women who are coming. Sure for that, but that's a very great
Sorry,
feedback
I
to
didn't
hear.
get you properly.
Yeah, I was saying to you, I don't want to be a spoiler, but sure, we do have this feedback a lot. This was at the start of Tech News. We already planned something like that. We noticed, like what you just said, specifically in terms of having ladies on such kind of good courses to be more less seen. That we can easily push for that with the vast network we have today. So that's something we'll definitely have sooner or later, hopefully. But
Yeah,
then,
sure. Sure. Go ahead, because I mean there's quite some popularity around. Another one that if you're talking about people to bring in, um, you might have a look at with Bilkis and Christoph that are doing a lot of Angular
Mhm.
training since years. So that could be potential candidates to go forward with it.
Yes, I know them, so I will have a word with them as soon as possible. So I think we have one loss. What's the best advice you ever received?
Keep learning. Every day is a learning experience. Life is a learning experience. No matter what you do, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you start learning. Keep the spirit flowing. Put your focus on learning activities. And one of the best parts that I've received is actually listen when somebody talks to you, because quite often it's a situation that we put ourselves in a position to respond when somebody talks, instead of trying to, take it in and listen and learn from other people. So I think this might be one of the best advices that I've received ever, is that um, listen carefully, learn from other people, and take learning as a daily exercise to grow, and in the future then help others as well.
Very nice. So I leave it to your topic. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, we spoke about certifications. It's kind of a little bit of a pet project as well on my side. Is that since, I don't know, 2014 or something like that, when I started with Azure, is that I looked into certifications, and I really enjoy the experience, because, as I said, it's a learning experience. You are always exposed with new technology. Every half a year, there's so much happening. And I mean, if you're not continuously moving forward, and honing your skills, you then fall off the cliff. I had this experience based on the fact that I was bound in a kind of old fashioned ASP.NET project, and after 2 years, it was like, whoa, what happened in the world around me? And so picking up the journey on cloud computing, starting with Azure, and then around 2018 jumping into Google Cloud, helped me to understand quite a lot what's going on. And certifications is my personal way to prove somehow that the concepts and the products and services for cloud computing in regards to Azure as well as to Google Cloud have been understood. I am in a position to apply that knowledge, and it's a good way to see a confirmation in this knowledge. I know certifications is always like a risky topic, because people say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing everything on paper, what is in the books, I'm studying, and I know it by heart," but not really understanding what's going on. Um, that's something I would definitely discourage, because I see it in a way: do the practical work, practice certain activities, learn how to deploy resources in cloud computing, also learn it in different ways. Yeah. You start usually on the web interface, which is for exploration, for discovery. But the actual professional way is about then using the command line interfaces. Yeah, the AZ tool or the G-Cloud tool, where you can then script deployments, where you can script configurations, where you can script changes in your activities. And this is your jumpstart then to use other projects like or products like Terraform or Pulumi, that you get on a really high professional level. And again, certifications are, let's say, that the icing on the top of the cake to really say, okay, I have the knowledge. Here's the proof. And with this being said, that you have the proof for your knowledge, I also like the fact that with certifications that they are coming from industry partners like Microsoft, Google, Cisco, AWS, IBM, you name it. And they are equal on a global standard. So in comparison, if you go to a university or a tech college or a polytechnic, it's a situation that which one to choose, because usually the name of an institution, the reputation of an institution plays a major factor. And I've seen it now with, recent graduates that they are also having this kind of problem. Should I study in Mauritius or should I go abroad? And when or if going abroad, where and when to study? Some consider going to Malaysia, others go to Europe, etc. Whereas on the other side, you have students from the African continent coming to Mauritius because then they can study at a British university like Middlesex or Aberystwyth, their campus how it used to be in the past. But again, it's the problem. What is the value of your degree based on the reputation of the institution that you studied with? And professional certifications just give you the same the same pitch, the same playground. Where you go for examinations and certifications here in Mauritius, you get the same set of questions like somebody in the USA, somebody in the UK, somebody in Indonesia. There's only maybe the difference whether you take the exam in English, French, Japanese, or whatever other language. However, it's the same pool of questions. And with this being said, you prove that you're on the same level as anybody else in the world, meaning this is actually then opening your gate to the rest of the world. So meaning remote jobs. Hello, I'm here.
Wow.
I'm a certified cloud engineer. I'm a certified data scientist. And I know what I'm doing. I know what you are asking for, and I'm ready to do the job because I confirmed my knowledge with a professional certification. So being here in Mauritius and then having this opportunity to apply for remote jobs, not just based on your degree, your bachelor, your diploma that you have with a local institution, but then also based on your professional certifications. I think this is gonna help you to grow in regards to personal growth. However, also in regards what is happening on your bank account. Yeah. There are huge opportunities in this regards, and I think certifications are really a good way to catch up on that. And I've seen that even universities have these kind of side activities where they offer the Cisco networking courses and certifications. And I mean, if you go into cloud computing, whether it's with AI or if your interest is in Python and you want to go for data science, always look beyond the plate, look beyond the edge, look out of your cave and see what else is there. And I mean, if you're studying something or if you're having a lot of intensive work on the job, why not spice it up? You don't need to reserve a sabbatical to go for your master, or for your doctorate. You can add up your skills and your resume with professional certifications. And with this in mind, that it not only opens the door to the rest of the world, it's also the situation that with certifications, you can put them on your resume. So meaning on the job market, you already on an elevated position. Whether it's here in Mauritius, whether it's somewhere else, even if you consider to say, hey, maybe in the future you like to immigrate to another country, whether it is Australia or Canada, which seem to be very popular here in Mauritius. Those certificates are actually going to help you to get a job abroad faster than just based on your work experience. Yeah, and I mean, again, you gain the experience on the job. Just put it, give it a little bit more value, a little bit more weight by confirming them with certifications.
Oh, that's very
That's
interesting.
That's very interesting. I do have a few notes I was making. I really appreciate what you say. When we, as I would say, experienced people now, we have kind of a decade of experience in IT. Sometimes when we look it back, we spend kind of time with getting to our degree. People focus in masters, and this is a bit of the culture in masters. This is something I noticed because recently I had this discussion with few of my, I would say, junior developer I've had contact with. They've just completed their studies. They had a 1 year experience. What next? I want to do an MBA. I want to do a master's in project management. And you're a super, I would say, potential developer, but I don't understand why the focus there. And this is
Yeah.
something which is kind of trendy here in Mauritius. Like, okay, let's get higher certificate, master or degrees or things like that. That will increase my pay grade. While you just mentioned it, while this high of remote job coming to us, like first thing they check, are you certified? Do you have this? Do you have this? And even in big companies today, in corporates, we put it this way, when they are bidding for project, I've been in different countries. One of the countries I've been in recently was Saudi. I got the chance to meet people who are working on the line, what they call the line as project, and the basic requirement with all those people who were non-native there was like, I'm certified in this, I'm certified in this, I'm certified in this. That's all. And this is how they're getting it. And I had just one question for you. For you, based in context with certification masters, if we put certification versus an MBA today, or a master something, anything, what would you kind of advise to our student or potential developers, whoever it is?
Well, first of all, the spontaneous answer to that is it depends, as usual. The long answer is that it's about the environment. As you mentioned here in Mauritius, it's still quite classic. Yeah, you have to have your degree, you have to have your diploma, your bachelor, you go for master, which is kind of your growth path since decades. However, I would say that it's a matter of time consumption because doing your master, if you graduated and you go on the job, you have your 1 year, 2 years experience, and then you go for masters. How you manage it in regards to your time? Are you going for full-time master course with the risk of not getting paid because you need to stop your job? Are you going for part-time, like in the evening or on the weekends, which means that there is double the stress based on the fact that you work during the day or during the week and then, need to squeeze in time for your master. And on the other side, there is this trend, even with the big five, so the FANG companies, that they stopped looking for degrees. Yeah, they opened up their HR requirements so that even that they're considering about, hey, there might be software engineers, computer engineers out there that for whatever reason do not have the financial means to go for formal studies and formal degrees. However, they are self-taught, based on curiosity, based on online courses, because don't forget, online courses getting better and better. If you look at edX or OpenX, so you have the official course material from Stanford, from MITD, and so on. So you can, at any time, you can go and study these materials, and it's just a situation about, well, you did not formally pay a tertiary institution for your title. However, you have maybe the smartness to do implementations, to get things developed that somebody that is, coming from a university or going for a master's degree, being more focused on, papers and passing tests, might actually have a lag. So I'm not judging in a way that one is better than the other. However, there are personal preferences about how people acquire knowledge and how they can apply it. Some can take it from the books onto the keyboard. Others are tinkering and go iterative, go in an imperative way to learn things, and might be even smarter. It depends on what you want to see. And so I would say that with certifications and this huge amount of online courses, and I'm talking about serious online courses and sources mainly, like Coursera, where you go to MITD or other institutions like Pluralsight and so on, that you can take this as an alternative as well as an addition to formal education at tertiary institutions. And it's really down to yourself with several factors. So time is clearly one. Money, about, when you spend time on studying, you cannot earn money because you need to, compensate somehow. And flexibility. Again, am I doing the studies at the site, on my commute? Here in Mauritius, people are literally driving like 1 hour at least from home to workspace, popping it up on a mobile, doing a module that takes like half an hour, is studying. And this is something that you can do while you're commuting. This is something you might not do when you have to deal with presence courses at the university, for example. And so overall, it's moving towards more flexibility. Yeah, same like with the job situation. We came from 100% office presence, 9 to 5 situation, and with the pandemic, devil in disguise situation is that a lot of jobs have been opened up for remote. Like, hey, you can do 3 days at home, 2 days at the office. A lot of jobs have been opened up to 100% remote. And it's also not the situation about, hey, I have to work from 9 to 5, but bring in the results. Whether you bring them in 4 hours or whether you bring them in 10 hours, it's not that important anymore. It's about that the results are produced. And again, we, as a human being, you have your ups and downs, you have your mental roller coaster during the day. It might be you're really productive in the morning, but then you take a nap for half an hour after your lunch break. And then you're super productive again in the afternoon or even in the evening after you had a refreshing shower, and you got, this light bulb effect, like, oh, whoa, yes, that is a good thing. And then you sit down in the evening for 1 or 2 hours to hack or to program a solution. And that's something that is completely different to how it used to be. And I see this kind of, or I'm hoping to see this kind of same evolution in regards to requirements of formal education in regards to diplomas, bachelors, and masters, with alternatives about having professional certifications. Because as a business owner, who am I going to take? Somebody that has a master's in networking, or somebody then can say, hey, over the last 3 years, I did Cisco certification X, Y, Z. I did Kubernetes certification A, B, and C. And so I see that, maybe the ones with the professional certifications is actually more practical, a person that is more about doing things, whereas with I'm not judging in this case. It's just my general understanding that somebody with a master's degree would be more like maybe too more theoretical, and there's a lack of practical because the time that you spend at the university, you might not have available to figure out things on the job while working with the products. So, it's a balance act, which leads me back to my initial quick answer. It depends.
Yeah. Thanks. That's a good one. Appreciate it. Abdallah, anything? Can we proceed? Next one.
Yes. For me, I once already heard Joki talking about certification some times ago. I think it was DevCon, so I'm pretty good. So yes, 3 tips to become a better software developer.
Okay. Tip number 1. It's about the code to solve a problem. It's not about you. Put your ego aside. If you write code that you find genius, somebody more experienced might look at it and tell you, what kind of rubbish did you program there? It's nothing personal in this case. It's about the code. It's about improvement, which leads me to tip number 2. Always learn. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're at the wrong place. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Learn from them. And tip number 3, be consistent. Show up, do the 1% every day. In the long run, over a certain period of time, you will discover, or you will notice, that consistency and persistency is always beating talent. You might be a smart guy or a smart gal that comes up with wonderful solutions, but the person that is doing it in a consistent way, and improving skills, not only in regards to theoretical knowledge, but also in practical application of that knowledge, will win the race in the end. Yeah. If you want to take a classic fable, the hare and the tortoise. Be the tortoise. Take your time, build up the fundament, but move steadily forward.
Oh, superb advice. So I think, Hidayat, anything else?
I think I really like those free advice. Sometimes when we talk about advice to software developer, we tend to be very technical. Go and learn X language. You need to do that. You need to be good in that. I appreciate when people look at it from a different perspective, because this is how people improve. This is how people grow. It's not just doing the thing, not academia, X, Y, Z, but this is something very important as well. Is like you mentioned, consistency. Every day sitting with it, getting it done. This is where you will progress. Thanks a lot, Joki. Highly appreciate the knowledge shared today. It's a real pleasure to have you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on the chat. It was good fun, and ping me on at any time you want. And please don't forget to follow me on social media as well.